Hey everyone, welcome. Ready to dive into something big?
Always.
Today, it's Google Gemini.
Uh-oh.
Not uh-oh in a bad way.
I know. It's just, where do we even start?
It is a lot, but we found this article, 20 practical ways to use Gemini in the classroom, so we're good.
Yeah.
Think of this deep dive as your crash course, specifically on how Gemini can shake up, like totally revolutionize, education.
No small feat, right. But Gemini isn't just another shiny AI toy.
That's what's got me so hyped. This article, it lays out how Gemini is not some far-off thing. Like, it can already generate a quiz on, say, photosynthesis in seconds, or let's say a student's bombing algebra. It can create a whole study plan just for them.
That's what's so huge here. It's not just teachers getting a cool new gadget. It's every student suddenly having learning tailored to them. That's the dream, right?
Totally. One thing that blew me away, the article mentioned Gemini could even help teachers give better feedback. Like, not just a grade, but actual, personalized guidance.
Which before, forget it, that was impossible for most teachers with how many students they have.
Right. So this is huge. Okay, maybe I sound like a broken record, but get this. Gemini can even simulate talking to historical figures.
Okay, now that is wild.
I know. Imagine, like, asking Marie Curie about her experiments, or even, debating Einstein on something. How engaging would that be?
It brings history to life in a way that textbooks never could.
Completely. And think bigger. What about students accessing info in any language? That's huge for learning.
Global classroom. Here we come. Students from all over, working together, no language barriers. That's the future.
Okay, but rewind a bit. How does it actually work? This is AI, not magic.
Right, so Gemini's been trained on a massive amount of text and code. This lets it understand and create text, like scarily human-like text, based on what you ask it.
Okay, that makes sense, but how does it personalize stuff?
That's where it gets even cooler. Gemini can actually analyze how a student's doing, see where they're struggling, and then suggest specific resources or even make practice problems just for them.
Wait, so it's like having a personal tutor inside the learning platform? That's insane. But what about teachers? What happens to them?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And the truth is, this isn't about replacing teachers. It's about giving them superpowers.
Superpowers? I like that.
Think of Gemini as the ultimate teacher's assistant. It can handle grading, making quizzes, all the tedious stuff, and free teachers up to do what they do best, which is, actually teach, inspire, guide.
I love that.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some challenges, right? I mean, this is a massive change.
Oh, for sure. For one, we need to train teachers on how to use Gemini the right way, ethically. And we got to make sure all students can access this no matter their background. Can't leave anyone behind.
Right, technology is great, but not if it creates more inequality. What else?
Data privacy. Huge one. Gemini needs student data to do its thing, so we got to have, ironclad protection for that info. No compromises.
Absolutely. So hurdles, yes, but it sounds like the potential of this thing.
Yeah.
It's huge, right? Like a whole new era for education.
We're talking a total paradigm shift. And this is just the start. As AI keeps getting better, who knows what we'll see in education? It's kind of mind-blowing.
Speaking of mind-blowing, this article, it gets into some really specific ways Gemini can be used, like even creating virtual field trips.
Right, or simulating real events. Forget textbooks. Let's send kids back in time to experience history firsthand.
Okay, hold on. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. We have to unpack that. But first, welcome back. So you were saying something about Gemini and simulating real-world events. My brain is kind of stuck on that.
Yeah, it's about making learning experiential. Imagine you're studying ancient Rome, right?
Okay, I'm with you.
But instead of just reading about the Colosseum, what if you could, walk through it virtually, maybe even interact with gladiators or witness a chariot race?
Whoa, okay, that's next level. Ditch the textbooks, let's go back in time. What else you got?
Think about creativity, too. A kid loves music, but sheet music. It's a foreign language to them.
Happens to the best of us.
But with Gemini, they could, tell their ideas to it, and it helps them write the music down. Or even compose a whole song together.
Wait, so a virtual composer buddy? That's nuts. But what about hands-on learners? The kids who gotta do the thing. Can Gemini help there, too?
Totally. Let's say it's science class, and you're building bridges. Gemini could run this awesome simulation where kids try different designs, materials, all that, and they see the results instantly, in real time.
So those aha moments, they still happen. even if it's digital.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop at STEM. Imagine reading Shakespeare and then using Gemini to put on a virtual play. Costumes, sets, the works.
Okay, you've officially lost me. That's way too futuristic. But on a practical note, What about assessment? Like, how do we even grade with Gemini in the mix?
$1 million question. The old way, standardized tests. That doesn't really jive with the whole personalized thing Gemini makes possible.
Right, so how do you measure progress if everyone's on their own path?
That's the cool part. We gotta rethink assessment altogether. Forget comparing kids to each other. It's about their own growth. Gemini can track that, see where they've improved and where they need a boost.
So instead of report cards, we get, like, personalized progress reports.
Basically.
Yeah.
And assessments themselves, they can be totally different. Instead of multiple choice, maybe it's a project that shows what they've learned, tailored to their skills.
So it's actually meaningful, tied to what they're learning.
Exactly. And the feedback, it's not just a letter grade. It's specific, actionable advice that helps them learn better.
Okay, this is seriously revolutionary.
Mm.
But, gotta ask, what about the downsides? We've talked up the good stuff, but there's always another side.
Right, and being aware of those is key. Number one, access. Not every school has the same resources. You can't let Gemini widen the gap between the haves and have-nots.
Totally. Equity's crucial. What else?
Data privacy, obviously. Gemini needs data to work, but that data's got to be locked down tight. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Transparency and all that, super important.
Yeah.
So challenges, yeah. But it sounds like the payoff could be huge.
It's about being careful but optimistic. Technology can be a force for good in education, but we got to make sure it actually is.
Couldn't have said better myself.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit. We talked about teachers becoming more like mentors before. How does that even work with AI?
Well, imagine if teachers were free from all the busy work, right? Grading, planning, even just paperwork.
Dream come true.
That's where Gemini comes in. It takes over those tasks. And suddenly, teachers have time for what matters, working directly with students, having real conversations, guiding them individually.
That's the dream, isn't it? Less lecturing, more mentoring. But how do we make that jump from traditional classrooms to, like, this futuristic AI-powered setup?
That's where things get really interesting. But we'll have to save that for after the breaks. Stay tuned.
All right, back to this whole teacher as mentor thing. How does Gemini actually make that happen? It sounds great, but
It's about, like, think of all the stuff teachers do that isn't actually teaching. The grading, the lesson plans, even just the admin stuff.
oof, tell me about it. Mountains of paperwork.
Gemini can take a lot of that off their plate, which means suddenly teachers have time. Time to actually work with students one-on-one, give them personalized guidance.
Instead of just like, here's your graded worksheet, see you next week.
Exactly. Imagine classrooms where teachers aren't just giving out information, but they're facilitating, discussions, projects, helping kids actually solve real-world problems.
So it's not just about the what of learning, but the how and the who each individual student.
Exactly. And Gemini, it becomes this tool that helps teachers make each student's journey unique. It's personalized learning, for real.
Okay, this is blowing my mind a bit, but let's take a step back. Big picture time. If AI really does become this huge part of education, what does that future actually look like? Paint me a picture.
I'm talking, learning doesn't have to happen in a classroom anymore. With Gemini, the whole world's your classroom. You can access info from anywhere, work with anyone.
The global network of learners.
Exactly. And it's not just about access. It's about making learning engaging, personalized, and equitable. Every student, no matter who they are or how they learn best, they have the tools to succeed. That's the dream.
That's a powerful dream.
Right.
But you got to be real, right? Just because Gemini can do all this doesn't mean it automatically will. There's still work to do.
Oh, absolutely. We got to be smart about this. Data privacy, making sure everyone has equal access. These are big deals. But I'm optimistic. I think we can do it.
Me too. This whole conversation, it's been eye-opening, to say the least. Google Gemini. I mean, who knew AI could shake up education like this?
Right. And we've only scratched the surface.
And that's what I want our listeners to take away from this. Don't be afraid of this stuff. Explore it. Play around with it. Think about how it can help you create amazing learning experiences for your students.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The future of education, it's not some pre-programmed thing. We're building it together.
And on that note, that's a wrap on today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone.